Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. This shirt's collar is way too tall, but it's the only shirt that I have that matches these Jordans, so I guess I just have to deal with it. I do need to address real quick that on the last video in this series, I guess, of the top 10 of each position for the point guards, I forgot Chris Paul existed. And I also showed my top 10 list to a couple of people, and not a single one of them pointed out that I was missing Chris Paul. So I think we all just collectively forgot that he exists, apparently. So yeah, I would have ranked him probably right after Trae Young in my list, and Ja Morant would have fallen to 11. Everyone else would have gone down a spot. But yeah, my bad. I forgot Chris Paul. Anyways, we are now on to the shooting guards list, and a little caveat for this, as I mentioned in the previous episode, if you did not watch, James Harden I categorize as a point guard, and Kyrie Irving I categorize as a shooting guard, because when everybody's healthy, the function within the Nets offense is that Kyrie is the 2 and James Harden is the 1. Now it's all arbitrary and positions are barely a thing anymore, but that is how I'm going to choose to categorize them, so that's why it is how it is. I don't know. It's just, shut up. Let's go on. So, honorable mention, I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards. I could actually see Anthony being better than 2 of the players on this list that are above him right now, but I just need to see consistency from him before I'm saying that for sure. If Anthony Edwards is as good as he was in the second half of the season for the Timberwolves all of this season, then he's probably number 9 on this list. That said, at number 10, I have Terry Rozier, who is one of the more underrated players in the league. I and many other people were very critical of the contract that the Hornets gave him at the time in the Kemba Walker sign and trade. Hindsight being 2020, that was a fantastic move for them because they didn't have to pay Kemba the supermax. They paid Terry Rozier just $20 million, while he does a similar level of production on a much more well-rounded team now. Number 9, we have CJ McCollum. He is good. I don't have much to say. I just kind of feel like this is the natural spot for him. And I realize 9 seems low, but the shooting guard position is actually a little bit better than I originally thought that it was. Like, I thought the shooting guard position was probably the weakest one in the NBA, but in actuality, it's the power forward position. And even 2 of the players who are in the power forward position, I don't even really consider, actually 3 of them I don't even really consider power forwards. So that says all you need to know about how weak that position is. But yeah, CJ at 9. Number 8, and this one could be subject to change, but I feel like it's probably going to stay the same, and that is Klay Thompson. I think just presuming Klay Thompson is as good as he was, I think everybody above him is at least a little bit better, but that said, the separation between 5, 6, and 7 and Klay at number 8, I really don't think is very significant. It really does come down to the fact that Klay is not a shot creator nor a playmaker, and every other player above him is to some extent or another those things. So that is what holds him back here. But Klay Thompson, also very, very good. Number 7 is Jaylen Brown. I would completely understand if you put Klay Thompson over Jaylen Brown. In fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't know. I could really see it either way on that one. Jaylen is a much more viable shot creator, but he's obviously not the three-point shooter he is, which is not a knock on Jaylen. Jaylen's a very good three-point shooter, but I only think Steph Curry is a better three-point shooter than Klay Thompson all time. So, yeah, it's hard to be better than him as a shooter. Right above him is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 6, and at number 5, I have Donovan Mitchell. Now, Shai Gilgeous is just going to inherently be a controversial player to rank because non-OKC fans are rarely watching him, but he's like the NBA Twitter nerds like favorite guy where like everybody is in on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like there are a lot of takes that are like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better than this guy. He's better than this guy. It happens all the time. And to some extent, I agree. Like, I generally think that Shai is pretty underrated in general, but there is a subsection of fans that overrate him. I could see him being, in fact, I would say that Shai might be better than Donovan Mitchell. But the thing is, Shea only played 35 games last season. In those 35 games, he was fantastic. I believe his stat line was something like 25, 5 and 6, shot 40+% from 3 on high volume. Took a huge stride as a playmaker, just a great feel for the game. But the sample size is small, and Donovan Mitchell elevates his game so significantly in the playoffs that I'm not taking Shea over Donovan just yet. A full season of Shea doing this, and maybe even seeing Shea do it in the playoffs and elevate his game as well, I could do that, but as of right now, I'm going to keep Donovan Mitchell just a spot above. Shea is a better playmaker, I would say, although not by a huge margin. And I don't know, I think they're a similar level shot creator. Donovan's a better three-point shooter, at least based on there's a higher sample size there. But regardless, I don't think it's that significant, the difference between them. So yeah. Number 4. This might make people angry. I don't know. It might. It probably will. I'm realizing this list is more controversial than I originally thought. I think Bradley Beal is the 4th best shooting guard in the NBA. And I think both Zach LaVine and Devin Booker are better. Now, am I incredibly biased in Zach LaVine's direction? Absolutely. If you want to say that Bradley Beal should be in Zach LaVine's place, I really think they're in a similar tier. I think Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, and Bradley Beal are all in a relatively similar tier. But the thing is that Bradley Beal, I don't know what it is. There's something about Bradley Beal that I just don't think I'm as high on him as other people are. It's not as though I have some nuanced, great reason as to why I think he's a little bit overrated. I just kind of do. I don't know how to explain it. And I'll just say I think that Zach is just a similar tier of a scorer. He's a better three-point shooter. And Bradley Beal's three-point percentage has been kind of disappointing over the last couple of years, mostly because he came into the league known as a shooter, and then he started taking a lot more pull-ups, and his three-ball percentage has suffered as a result. And Zach LaVine has been a pull-up shooter constantly throughout his career, and he's a much better three-point shooter percentage-wise on similar volume, so that's the difference. Mid-range percentages this year, I imagine, were relatively similar. Attacking the basket, relatively similar. Bradley Beal's a better decision maker and probably like a 5% better defender, though it doesn't make much of a difference. I don't know. I think they're right next to each other. Devin Booker, honestly, the reason why he takes the cake over Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal is just simply the fact that he went to the finals this year, and while he was a little bit hit or miss in general, he played really good in the playoffs, and the fact that we've seen him be probably the best player on a team that went to the finals. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between him and Chris Paul, but I think overall he was like 5% better than Chris Paul for the playoffs. I think that is enough that I'm going to give him the edge over Zach and Bradley, but again, I think they're in a relatively similar tier. And then after that, Kyrie Irving, like I said, I believe he is a shooting guard, and I also think he is the best shooting guard in the league if he is a shooting guard. So I have Kyrie Irving at number 1, better than Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, and Bradley Beal. I think that's pretty uncontroversial, but maybe to a few people, because people love to hate on Kyrie Irving, but like, even if you question his off-the-court stuff, which I really don't think you should, but even if you did, you can't question that he's fucking incredibly talented. So I meant to do this last time, and I completely forgot, but I'm just going to go over the list again just to get the order. Number 1 is Kyrie Irving. Number 2 is Devin Booker. Number 3 is Zach LaVine. Number 4 is Bradley Beal. Number 5 is Donovan Mitchell. Number 6 is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 7 is Jaylen Brown. Number 8, Klay Thompson. Number 9, CJ McCollum. Number 10, Terry Rozier. And honorable mention, Anthony Edwards. Again, Anthony Edwards could very well be in this list if he is consistent next year, because second half of the season with the Timberwolves, he played like an all-star. First half, he played like someone who would be out of the league in a few years. So it's really just dependent on which version of Anthony Edwards we end up getting, and I'm relatively confident we'll get a second one, but this list isn't really projecting things going into the future. So those are my top 10 shooting guards in the NBA. Subscribe, all that. Bye.